All right, guys, just got back from the game. Just took everything off, settled everything down. Hold on, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. Shout to Gino's Pizza. Shout to Gino's Pizzeria. Phenomenal wings. Phenomenal chicken wings. Of course, Buffalo is you literally have the best wings in the entire world. But anyway, was a great experience, great time. Yeah, that was a very exciting but frustrating game. And I'm glad we didn't lose that football game because I would have been extremely pissed. But yeah, the Buffalo Bills win 34 to 28. And this was a game where we made a lot of big mistakes in the first half. I think we can definitely correct those mistakes. We did correct those mistakes in the second half. First of all, defensively, why in the hell, after when you lost Teron Johnson, why was Jamarcus Ingram, who was more of an outside press corner, why was he playing as a nickel? Why was he the backup nickel instead of just being a backup outside corner? Right? Because then in the second half, you kind of brought Cam Lewis, and I think Cam Lewis either was the dime player or I think he kind of filled in as a nickel spot, and he played a much better job against the run, and there really wasn't even that many communication issues. A lot of the miscommunication, a lot of the misalignments in the first half literally happened because of the nickel. It screwed almost everything up. It was tons of miscommunication, tons of misalignments. Terrell Bernard was visibly upset. I mean, you can just see it. They were having arguments I think they were on the sideline because it was just like Arizona is scoring and these receivers these receivers and tight ends, they're just sitting. They're sitting in zone. They're finding the wide open areas. And it's simply because people are just missing their assignments. It was so many misalignments. Like you had Bills defenders literally telling each other, like, bro, you're supposed to be here. What are you doing over there? And then when the mistake would happen, then guess what? A player who was supposed to play this certain zone now has to go back and try to compensate because otherwise that particular area is wide open. He's going to target it. But he has to leave his prospective zone to try to compensate. I mean, you guys can see where I'm kind of going with this. Like, it was a fucking mess. And thankfully we got it fixed. And I think really the only big change that happened was simply Cam Lewis in terms of personnel wise, right? Because I'm not I'm not there backstage. I'm not in the locker room. But I do know from a personnel standpoint, they just put Cam Lewis in the game and it fixed a lot of things because we didn't really have a lot of miscommunication issues in the backhand. We started to play way better, especially when they were running that freaking, when they were simply just pulling the guard and the tackle, when they would just go heavy, we did a much better job of sealing off the edge and kind of cutting that off. Before that was kind of an issue. We did a much better job of sealing it. Why? Because of our corners, including Cam Lewis, did a phenomenal job of sealing off the edge, forcing the running back to kind of cut that back inside. And that was really, really good. I thought we did a much better job, too, in cleaning up in tackles. We did a much better job in containing Kyler Murray. It's not easy as hell because in the first half, Kyler Murray broke ahead of contain. And I thought really the only big difference that happened was that we were able to push the pocket. We were just able to say, fuck it. Because you got to play gap integrity against a mobile, quick, agile quarterback like Kyler Murray. But in the second half, we just decided to say, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to push the pocket. Let's squeeze it. And let's try to force Kyler Murray to try to run up the middle. Because if he tries to break outside contain, we're doing a fine job at it, but we just don't have the speed. We don't have the speed to handle Kyler Murray if he does try to bounce that to the outside. There's just nothing you really can do about it. So we did a much better job in terms of just squeezing him and holding inside that pocket instead of just bouncing it and rolling to his right or to his left. He still was able to do it, just not as effectively as we thought that he was going to do in the first half. In terms of the Bills offense, I thought the Bills offense played fantastic. And the crazy part is we're down 3-17. It's like, dude, we still played really good in the first half. I know the box score could be deceiving, but it's like Josh Allen is like 5 for 5 for 75 yards. Yes, he had the fumble, and yes, he should have hit Curtis Samuel on that. I think it was a dig. He should have hit Curtis Samuel on the dig because he was wide open. There wasn't a safety crashing down because that's what I initially thought because I'm like, why the hell would you not pull the trigger? You're staring literally in his direction. Pull the trigger. And that's at worst case scenario, that's a first down. But instead, he holds on to the ball too much, tries to go all the way back, rolls, like tries the roll. I think it was trying to roll to his right, and he ends up fumbling the ball. Like, I don't even know what the hell was going on there. But besides that, I mean, Josh Allen made a few other mistakes, including missing Keon. I mean, Keon Coleman was wide open for a touchdown where Josh Allen kind of pointed to his chest that he knew was his fault. But really, I would say it was a few mistakes. Josh Allen played a flawless game. 18 for 23, 232 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. And really, if it wasn't for the holding call, he would have had 3 rushing touchdowns, right? Because I think we had to kick a field goal because of that crap. So this score could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse for Arizona. We could have easily scored. We could have easily scored at least, I'm not gonna say 50 points, but we could have. There were 2 touchdowns I felt like that were just left off the board, including one that definitely was called back because of holding. The penalties were killer. Some of it was bullshit. The officiating in this game was terrible for both sides, but we definitely were a little bit more undisciplined. Osiris Torrance had a crap game. This was the worst game I think I've seen by Osiris Torrance. Spencer Brown had a couple of mishaps, but overall wise though, no, I'm offensively, I thought we did a really, really good job, right? According to a lot of the people out there that saying the Bills have no receivers, I thought our receivers did a really good job today. You know, Scantling was wide open on the post. Josh Allen missed him. Scantling runs a comeback route, but you saw how, but as soon as they saw that he's running, that he's going forward, the defenders are immediately moving back, which left room for him to make that comeback because they respected his speed. And that's why, like, Scantling is the deep threat. He's probably the best deep threat on the team. And Scantling is not the best receiver in the world, but I'm telling you, players in certain teams, they will respect what Scantling brings to the table because he can make plays and he has made plays because the defense just didn't respect what Scantling can bring to the table. His speed, his ability to be a deep threat is going to cause a lot of teams issues. Khalil Shakir needs more touches. He needs more targets. He needs more touches because Khalil Shakir is a dog. He might just be one of the best in terms of run after catch in the National Football League, and I'm not even joking about that. Keon Coleman, I thought he played extremely well today. Keon Coleman should have had 2 touchdowns in this game. Again, he was wide open in the back of the end zone, and the other one, if Josh Allen just hits Keon Coleman on the back shoulder, Keon Coleman I'm not saying that would have been an automatic touchdown, but he does have that leverage, especially because he's trying to box out the defender. He literally has the leverage to make that catch. He could have had 2 touchdowns today. But Mac Hollins doing exactly what we thought he can do, which was be a red zone threat. That's why we brought his size and physicality to us. He did exactly what we thought he can do. I just like we played a good game. I thought that Curtis Samuel just being a threat as far as being a utility weapon, he's going to get more targets. Trust me about that. But the offensive line, despite my criticism about them for penalties, they did a really freaking good. They were bulldozing these Cardinal defenders, and credit to the Cardinals because they made some really good adjustments. They stood strong in the second half. But man, I was really impressed with this offensive line in terms of generating a push. I would like to see Ray Davis get more carries. 3 carries for 13 yards isn't really good enough. He needs to get more carries. I'm telling you right now, he's better. He's more explosive than Ty Johnson. But overall wise, the offense I thought played really, really well. If there was a weak point for this football team, it was special teams. The special teams unit was fucking terrible. And, Talibas was perfect for tonight. He was fine. The punting was okay. But the kick return, the kickoff, that shit, why won't you? I don't want to sound ignorant because I've never been a kicker before and I never will be a kicker. And I never want to be a kicker. But why can't he just boot the shit out of the back of the end zone knowing that he has the capability of doing that? And then we let off a kick return touchdown. Again, this new kickoff rule that everybody wants to complain about. And of course, we're the team that allows a kick return for a touchdown. Like special teams, once again, Coach Smiley, once again, special teams almost cost us the football game. What are we doing here? Like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Special teams has been a disaster since this dude was hired to be the special teams coordinator. Why hasn't he been fired? I have no fucking clue. But I'm telling you, if we continue to play like that on special teams, it is going to bite us in the ass in one of these games. And I'm telling you, it's probably going to be a crucial game like the playoffs or some regular season game that could determine a playoff spot or the divisional spot or a number one. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But special teams is the weakest part of this football team, no question about it. That's a big concern. Another big concern is Josh Allen, of course, hurting his hand against a non-throwing hand. I'm hoping that it's not serious. It's just a mild injury. But if it's serious, if it's fractured, that could be bad. And again, I understand it's not a non-throwing. It's a non-throwing hand. I'm telling you, you got to grip the football. You got to go under center. You got to grip the football. I'm telling you, it is going to be an issue it's going to be a problem if he does have a fractured hand. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it doesn't require surgery. Here's to hoping that he's the best. It's just like, man, I love Josh Allen. He's fun as hell to watch, but man, these hurdles are killing us because you're not going to last too long doing this shit in the National Football League. I look at a Cam Newton, I look at Andrew Luck, some of these quarterbacks that are extremely athletic and took chances and risk and actually ended up shorting their careers because of the shit. And that is I just hope that it's not a huge thing, hopefully. Teron Johnson hurt his forearm. He's one of the most important players, if not the most important player in our secondary. We need him healthy. As good as Cam Lewis played in the second half, we don't know if we're going to get this every game. So we need Teron Johnson to be back because he is one of the heart and souls of this football team, especially because we love to run a lot of nickel. But anyway, guys, long video. We got the win. Wasn't pretty, but we got it done. Now we got to focus on forward. Quick turnaround against Miami. Go Bills.